Social Life Podcast. I'm Deanna Miller, marketing director and co-founder of Stark Social Media Agency. Over there on the other side is Nathan Imhoff.
Hey.
Creative director. Wow, that was like the loudest you've ever been in a podcast recording. Now we'll not get that again, I promise.
I know they're always yelling at me. I don't talk loud enough. So
you don't talk loud enough. Yeah, speak up. Speak up, son. I can't hear you.
Yell into the microphone.
Talking to my good ear. Anyway, we are the Social Life Podcast. If you have not yet subscribed, please do so. thesociallifepodcast.com. We also have an Android application that you can download on your Android phone. I'm not sure who has those anymore. I'm pretty sure they've been like
that was the funny thing when we
thrown
launched
into
it.
the fire.
When we launched it, I was like, I don't know anybody with an Android phone. I had to think really hard.
I know we have a client that
I asked Audio Guru, and he now has an Apple, which he hates.
I know, it's so awesome.
And he's like, "Oh no, my wife has an Android.
Come over to the dark side."
He didn't have an Android before that. He had a Windows phone of all things.
I didn't know they still made those.
Oh, you still have it?
Windows is still a thing. Like that's. Oh, anyway, we did track someone down. We are getting. We will have the Apple App Store.
Could be up right now.
You could check and see if it's there. We don't know. Apple is its very own special.
You gotta jump through a lot of hoops to get it.
It took you like 48 hours to like figure out the whole process because it's like.
And I'm still working on it.
We're a business, we promise. But anyway. Last time we talked about building your style guide. Today we're talking about calls to action. I do a lot of webinars.
I felt like Audio Guru missed it right there. He could go dun dun dun
and trainings. I do a lot of webinars and trainings, and people always ask about calls to action. And that's probably one of the things that I think is really, really important. What is a call to action? You might hear it called a CTA if you're sitting in on some of these online trainings or webinars or talks. I sat through a whole one the other day, and it was like the guy just kept saying CTA, and then it was really funny. In the question and answer, somebody was like, "What does that actually like stand for?" And it was like, you went through 40 minutes of a talk and you didn't know it was call to action. I feel bad because
I just wasted your time if you did that.
I think but I think that's the thing is like as experts, we don't realize that like some of these abbreviations, not everybody knows what they are.
Yeah.
So you kind of have to be mindful of that.
Like last podcast, I think I talked over people's heads maybe.
Yeah, no,
a few times.
You did. I got bored. I'm sorry. I was like over here like making stories on Instagram.
It's like our RSS.
Drinking my
episode.
coffee, and I was like, I really need a nap right now. I'm so tired. Anyway. So a call to action is an image or line of text that prompts your visitors, leads, and customers to take action. It is quite literally a call to action.
You have to tell people what to do.
That is directly from a really cool HubSpot blog post that I'm going to probably reference a lot in this podcast because it's a really thorough explanation. What happened this last week? I did a Facebook advertising webinar, and people had questions about like what should my call to action be when I'm putting together a Facebook ad. The thing is Facebook Facebook advertising is not the only place that you'll use a call to action. So you're going to use a call to action on your website. You're going to use a call to action on your landing pages. You're going to use a call to action in a lot of different ways. And that's where, you want to make sure that you have an effective checklist for your calls to action.
Got to have a checklist.
Checklist. Check, baby. So I'll actually post this because it's a really good checklist for an effective call to action. I was going to come up with a whole thing on my own, but it was like, why reinvent the wheel when HubSpot kind of did it really well. So
thanks, HubSpot.
Thanks, HubSpot. I actually have a call with them this week, so I'm excited. HubSpot Partner Program.
Oh.
Yeah, so, I might be talking about HubSpot or doing a commercial for them. Anywhoozits. So just a quick checklist on creating an effective call to action. So you want to make sure that you have an eye-catching design, and that really comes into working with your graphic designer,
yes,
your website professional. When you're putting together, let's say, a landing page, this is a great place to display really eye-catching calls to action that speak to what you're doing. So an eye-catching design. You want to make sure that everything is easy and simple and that it appears in a way that people are like, I must have this.
Don't make our users work.
Don't do it.
Don't make them ask questions.
Do it.
They should get it.
They should totally get it. So, like, for example, Nate, you do a lot of really good landing pages. Like, when you're putting together an eye-catching design, when you're putting something together, like, it doesn't have to be one of those scrolly landing pages. Like,
I never really understood why people did those. I haven't. There's a lot of people that have been very successful with them. I just don't get them because my mind sort of, I'm going like, okay, so where's the call? Like, if I want to buy this, then
because there's
get
too
out of
much.
the way.
There's too much
I'm
information.
not going to read all this.
I'm not finding the call to action demanding enough.
Right.
Like, it's not grabbing me, and it's not making me go like, I have to have whatever it is they're offering.
I mean, your mind says to be like, do you want this? Yes or no. Press here to get it. And
Right.
then if the person needs a little convincing, that's where you're going to convince, and then have more calls to action. Like, okay, are you convinced yet? And then.
Right. No, and I think that's the thing is like when you're putting together your design, you want to make sure, and this goes for landing page and advertisements. So, like, for example, on Facebook ads, you can only have 20% of the text on the image for it to qualify as an ad.
Right.
Otherwise, you get that like email and they're like, hey, you should check
How's
your-"
that?
It's like on The Price is Right when you get the thing. It's totally the sound.
They need to add sounds to email.
I think when you open it, it's like that's wrong. So whenever you're putting together anything that is going to be in front of the eyes of somebody who's getting involved with your call to action, for example, you got a white paper download and you're using it in order to capture the emails and names of people that you're going to put into your sales funnel. That'll eventually go into your CRM that you will email fun, interesting, exciting things. So whether it's an email, a landing page, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, advertisement, Pinterest, whatever you're doing, you want to make sure that it's eye-catching design. So that's where your design team comes in. And if you don't have one, that's okay. That's all right. We'll help you. Come to starksocial.com. Anyway. When you're working with your design team, you want to make sure that when you're putting together your promotions, that you're thinking about what my design is going to look like. What kind of offer am I putting out on the table, and what kinds of imagery do I want to invoke? And that's going to vary depending on your audience. So this goes back to everything I've said over and over and over again. Define your audience in advance so that you know exactly who it is that you're speaking to. So that when you're developing those designs, they're eye-catching and they're awesome. Let's go down to copy that makes people want to act.
Boom.
Boom. There, you're done.
All right, cool. So what else are we going to talk about?
I have no idea. So your call to action really comes down to getting people excited and then having them go like, yes, I want this information so much that I'm going to give you my email information. How many times have you clicked on a landing page, clicked on a Facebook ad, and it's gone to something that just like reads like a novel? And you're like, ugh, I have to
try to forget it.
I have to put more time and energy into getting this thing that was supposed to be free. And it says submit here. Right? So you've got your name and your email and it says submit. Why? Why do that? So you want to make sure that whatever you've got those buttons, right? You've got the button. Everybody knows the buttons. You want to come up with something that's engaging that says that like claim yours now, get more info here, stop now, do it now, something.
There was a service that we were using, and literally you went there and it says start your app, and you literally click it and you can start playing with it without giving them any information. And then if you want to, you enjoy the service, then you can then add your stuff and pay or whatever.
Right.
But like you want to get out of the way. You want least amount of obstacles, to get to yes, basically.
Right. And but you also don't want it to be benign. So it's like submit here.
Right.
Click here.
Submit is lame.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like you don't care. So I know there's a lot of cookie cutter landing page services out there for different types of businesses. One of the ones I can speak to on a regular basis is real estate, because I see a lot of these cookie cutter things that come through, and you can update and you can change them in certain ways, but you want to make sure that if you're using one of those services, that maybe you're able to change the copy or the content on there on your own without having to pay extra money for them to do, different types of design and things like that. One of the most important things, obviously, is you want to make sure that you have a very, 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 very clear value proposition. Did I say enough varies for that?
Very.
Very.
Very, very.
So what is a value proposition? That's a great question. I'm glad you asked. You guys are so smart. People should know exactly what they're getting when they click on your call to action. So we have our, 50 tips to winning at social media?
Yes.
Is one of our most popular. It's very popular. But so Nate put together this really cool 50 tips PDF download thingy, ebook, white paper, whatever you want to call it. And you want people to know that when they're clicking on your call to action, they're clicking on your ad, and they're getting to your landing page, that they know what they're getting. So a lot of times I will fill out those things to get like templates and stuff and design ideas and like marketing, whatever. You want people to know what they're getting. So many times, I would probably say like 60% of the time, I fill out my information and what I get is not what I thought. Because then I get that, and then I get an email that says, do you want the full package? And then it's like, no, I have to do more.
More work.
But I thought I was getting like the full downloadable templates for the marketing calendar. No, you're not. And then I end up just using like a regular Excel spreadsheet instead of their like fancy template, because it's like I have to go back and fill out a survey, and it's annoying. So you want to make sure that their value proposition is clear. What are they getting for what they're doing? Even if they're not paying for something, it's work.
Yes.
And then they have to unsubscribe to your emails because they're annoying.
I go through kicks where like I'll spend like 2-3 days just like unsubscribing to everything.
Oh my gosh, I just did that yesterday.
I'm like, I'm tired of getting these emails.
It's like, and then there's like certain ones where it's like I get what I absolutely hate is when I've signed up for something, and then I get emails and it looks like I missed something with a client, and it's like Matt so and so, and then it's like, hey, did you see this? Question mark, question mark, question mark, and I'm like, what? What did I miss? What did I miss? And I click on it, and it's like a sales pitch, and I'm like, dude, unsubscribe.
Not cool.
That's not cool. You scared me. I thought that was something important. Like I totally effed up something with a client or something, and now I'm mad. So you want to make sure that when you're creating a call to action, let's recap real quick. Eye-catching design on your ads and your landing pages and your emails. You want to make sure that you have copy that makes people want to act.
Yes.
You want to make sure that whatever you're writing makes people excited about it, and they feel like you're working with them to provide them something cool, and that speaks to your clear value proposition. So you want to make sure that people know what they're getting. Make sure that this call to action tells them exactly what they're getting in exchange for providing you with the email. And I think it's really important. I was listening to something, and I don't forget what it is. I don't remember what it was this week. But they said people treat their emails and phone numbers like currency now.
Really?
Like they think of it that way, that if I'm giving you my information,
yes.
I'm giving you, like, it's like payment for what they're getting.
Right.
And if the value doesn't match up with how valuable they think their email is, then you're going to end up losing potential customers.
Right.
So I thought that was really interesting, because we've talked about that before in terms of like when we're putting together marketing strategies for clients, and you're doing websites, like we want to make sure whatever we're doing for specific clients provides them with a good value return.
Exactly. Well, you got companies like, I remember when Twitter came out and they were all this money and they weren't really bringing any money in. So you're like, how do they make money? But I mean, ultimately, building an audience opens up doors and makes it, it has a value. People are willing to pay for it because now you have an audience, and now Twitter is, they do all the video now, and they have advertising and they make tons of money. But
Yeah.
yes,
Well, and I think that's like, I have an email address that I've had for years, like 10 plus years. And I consider it my junk email now. It's literally what I use to sign up for everything, because I don't check it that often, and I have certain things that I've marked as important. And if I don't want it to go to my work email, I'll just sign up with that one because I don't want my inbox cluttered
right.
with a bunch of sales pitchy emails. So I have like a junk email that I use to sign up for everything, and then like an actual personal email, and then my work email. So I think I was listening to a podcast. I think it was something with Gary Vee, where it was like he was talking about, the different types of currency with the customer.
Right.
And I think that applies with call to actions is, people want to know how to get consumers to click on their ads or to reply to their emails or to engage with their emails or engage with their website and their landing page. And I think it's all about adding value to what they're getting.
Right.
So is what I'm giving them going to add value to their lives? Am I going to make their business better with my white paper, my download, my podcast, which, by the way, if you haven't subscribed yet, sociallifepodcast.com. So it's really important to know the whole process. So this is where this checklist comes into play. And you want to make sure that you've got a clearly defined value. So people feel like they're giving you something, even if it's a junk email address like mine is. They want to feel comfortable with filling out the form and knowing that they're not just going to get spam, or their emails aren't going to get sold to some multi-level marketing company, and the next thing you know, they're going to be offered the way to make millions and millions of dollars by selling face cream. So
what about Amway?
I can't believe it still exists. Yeah, so Amway is a really good example.
It was funny. Our friend Mike Cruz.
Oh, during his thing,
he was going for an appointment for city council, and we're in Santa Clarita, and yes, that's the same Santa Clarita from Santa Clarita Diet.
And it's totally true from what I hear. We haven't watched the show yet, but we will.
Yes. So, he goes up there and he's like, he gives a spiel, and then he goes, and I'm in the back selling Amway. I died laughing. That was the funniest thing ever.
That's hilarious.
Anyways, Mike Cruz is awesome.
So we're going to continue to talk about calls to action, engaging your audience, and making sure that you're offering a solid value proposition when we come back with the Social Life Podcast. Don't forget to download the app, Android, Apple, check it, see if it's there. Sociallifepodcast.com. Find us on Facebook, Stark Social Media Agency. We absolutely love it when people tweet to us about the podcast. So don't forget to do that at Stark Social. Grab yourself a beverage, a cup of coffee, a drink. If you got alcohol, just pull over and jump in the trunk and finish listening to the podcast.
Not advocating drinking and driving, by the way.
Not at all.
Just
at all.
We just keep doing it.
Just keep drinking.
It gets funnier the more you do it.
Just keep drinking. Just keep drinking. Just keep drinking. We'll be back.
This is the Monkey. My parents run the best social media company around. Go to starksocial.com today.
Social Life Podcast. I was gonna say something about
Rename it.
drinking, but then I was like trying to like not. Apparently, like I'm encouraging people to drink too much.
Yeah, stop doing that.
I think it's fine though. I think. I mean, we're not drinking anymore during the podcasts. We should be though. But we have to go to a different studio, so it's a bit of a drive. And I'm trying to be responsible. So be responsible. Obviously, don't drink and drive. But if you're at home, have some for me. So, yeah, we're talking about calls to action. And my call to action right now is go have a mimosa. No, I'm just kidding. We're talking. No, I'm not kidding.
Somebody needs brunch.
No, brunch is tomorrow. Brunch is tomorrow. I'm saving my weeklies for that. Anyway, Oprah and I are like best friends now. She has a good call to action. I mean, seriously, she got me. Anyway, your call to action, whether it's an ad or landing page, website, whatever it is, it should have an eye-catching design. You want to make sure that people want to engage with your stuff. You want to make sure that whatever you're writing, so your call to action is cohesive. It makes people want to act. It makes them want to click and get more information.
You gotta tell people what to do.
Absolutely. Be bossy. And then you want your value proposition to be very crystal clear, like sparkling. Sparkles. I just thought of like Fuller House for some reason, like when she's doing like the Gibbler Gallop and she's like, and sparkle, and sparkle, and sparkle. I don't know.
I think you've watched that. I think you've watched the seasons now twice because our kiddo is obsessed with this.
He's into
Full House.
it.
He watched the first season of Fuller House. Then he went back and watched the entire
7 seasons.
7 seasons
Yeah.
of Full House.
We watched them with him. He didn't do it by himself.
Right, and
BT
then he watched.
dubs.
And then he watched Fuller House again so he could get all the jokes. So.
Yes. So I think of them like randomly. Certain things like come up, but you do want your value proposition to be clear when you're putting together a call to action. You want people to know exactly what they're getting for giving you their information. And I listened to a podcast earlier in the week where people were talking about currencies, social currency, and filling out their information and giving you their email address or their website or whatever it is. You want to make sure that you're giving them what they think is an equal value. So currencies, currency could be their email address. They might feel very personally strong about giving you the email address. You want to make sure that what you're giving them in return makes sense. So a specific, the next thing we want to talk about is having a dedicated space to send people to for your call to action.
Yes.
So I was listening to a video. It was a really cool video with stuff, but I was listening to it because I was working. And one of the things that they made, there was some really great statistics, and I don't remember the exact numbers, but I know that what it was basically saying was that 75 to 80% of people will not respond if you send them from a Facebook ad through a call to action to a contact us page. They will click away. People don't want to fill out your contact us page because they don't feel it's valuable.
Right.
If they want to know about your call to action, so let's say we put together an ad on the Stark Social Facebook page that says, get your free marketing plan. And then I send them from that Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn ad to our contact us page. I've basically then just gone and disconnected the value of that call to action. My value proposition just went quite literally.
Wasting your time.
Wasting your time. So people want to feel special. They want to feel like if I've taken the time to move my mouse over to your ad and click on it, that you're going to take me someplace magical that sparkles. And I'm going to get something awesome for the effort that I just put out. So it's kind of like, we've been talking about it a lot, clickbait.
Right.
People put things out into the universe, into the social universe, and then they don't actually provide what people think they're going to get.
That special?
Oh.
Church lady.
That's very nice. It also made me think of Mama. What was that show? Mama's Family. Remember that show?
Oh, wait, All in the Family, wasn't it?
No,
Mama's?
Mama's Family. Yeah. I'm gonna look it up now. Anyway, we'll look it up later. But yeah, so you want to make sure one of the tips in the HubSpot checklist is that you want to make sure that you're not sending people to some place where they could go anyway if they Googled you and found you, or they clicked on the link on your Facebook page. You want to make it something special. So a dedicated landing page or a page on your website, even if you're like, I have no idea how to build a landing page. I have no idea. Just a page on your website that has like a title and a form. You can do, who do we use for forms? Gravity forms.
Right.
You could do just a very simple gravity form with like a title and some text to get yourself started. I obviously want you to use really pretty images and stuff, but if you're not sure and you're like, I want to get this done, just make it clean and simple. Don't steal images from the internet either, please. For the love of God, don't Google and go like.
So you got to think of this like IKEA. You know, you're going through IKEA, and you have to go through the IKEA. I mean, there are apparently there are secret passages to get out quick, but you know, you got to walk through all the sections in order to really get out. Even if you know,
IKEA can be scary.
So IKEA is like a store that is a landing page.
It totally is. And then you're like, if I click here,
You
I'll
must
get the
see
living
it.
room of my dreams. No, but
They
I
even
think
have beds in case you get tired. Just take a nap.
it's really funny. It's funny story. In college, I had a friend who liked to go to IKEA and take her own beverages in like sippy cup like type of things, like water bottles. Okay, so they're obviously colored. You can't see what's in there. She would go to IKEA and drink her wine or whatever her beverage was, and then one time she was so tired, she sat down on one of the couches and laid down and fell asleep. And she was there for like an hour-ish before anybody found her and told her to move.
Well,
But
I read an article about it. It said people do that all the time, and they don't even think anything of it. The people just take a nap on a couch. Or
I think it's so funny. Like
Audio Guru was giving me the look, like, really?
I just thought that was like the funniest thing. She ended up like calling us and was like, guys, I just totally slept on a couch in IKEA. I was so tired. And then the wine didn't help, and we're like, what are you talking about? But anyway.
So you passed out at IKEA,
Yeah.
is what you're saying.
So you got drizunk at IKEA, and then you passed out. Good work, 21-year-old you.
You're going places.
She's actually like a VP at like Canon now, so she went places.
Oh.
Yeah, she's
Let's go to IKEA.
drinking at IKEA was her like stepping stone. Anyway,
It's an inspirational story.
Canon is gonna now like go through their list of people that I know that work there and be like, all right, so you were a drunk IKEA sleeper. But you want to send them. We're talking about landing pages. Let's go back there. So you want to send them someplace that is specific for the call to action that you're offering, through the value proposition, through your call to action that you're offering. And that might mean multiple landing pages, like different variations of the landing page. So like, for example, one of our clients is a gym, a local gym here. And they have what they're calling like a buddy pass.
Right.
You might have multiple variations of the landing page for that.
Correct.
So, for example, like if you're going to take the buddy pass, you're going to promote it to couples specifically for Valentine's Day. Like get your, drunk asses off of the couch and into the gym the day after Valentine's Day.
Or out of your trunk.
Or out of your trunk. I mean, if that's what you're into. I'm just saying, it's your thing, chicken wing. But you might have multiple calls to action for the same value proposition and multiple places, landing pages where you would send them. So you want to make sure that you are scoping out the entire marketing process for this. So your call to action really needs to be engaging. It needs to match the value proposition, and then it needs to be sent someplace super duper special. I found some really cool examples on HubSpot. They were just blowing up my Feedly this week, so I'm sharing all their stuff. I found they have like 31 examples, like call to action examples that you just can't help but click. Some of them are really well-known companies. We use Evernote, we use Dropbox, but there's some that I have never heard of. Obviously, Netflix. So let's talk about the Netflix one. It's number 4 down. So when you're trying to get somebody to commit to signing up for something, you want to make sure that they understand that they're not stuck. So they're not going to sign up for, like, I've done things where I've signed up for, what's a good example?
You shouldn't try to trap people. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. Well, they feel like they can try it, and like with Netflix. So this one is see what's next, watch anytime, join free for a month. So basically what a lot of companies do now, and it's not bad to do it, is you get people to join, to try your free trial, but they commit with a credit card.
Right.
And then
that's the worst.
And
I'm out. If you make me put in a credit card, because I'm going to forget to turn it off.
And that's the ticket.
Well,
right
it's like
there.
the one I said, like when you hit create app, and literally it I thought, oh, this is going to take me to a form where I got to put in my name, my email, and some information. Nope, put me right in the back end.
Right.
And the settings and the profile was more or less empty, and I had to go and fill that in later.
Right.
If I'm like, yeah, this is awesome, I want to buy this service, I want to pay for the service, then I had to go and put in my stuff, but I was committed via using rather than giving them my information. So less intrusive. I get to play around without giving them any of my quote currency.
And that's a great example. I think that's fantastic. But I think what you want to do is you want to make sure that you're making people feel comfortable by giving them options. And I think that's what you had with that was you had options. So, for example, Netflix is really great at communicating with their clientele. So I get emails every time something new drops that I might be interested in. I get whenever they're coming out with their new programs, whenever there's having changes to programs, you might enjoy this, you might like this. So their call to action on everything that they do is really, really good. They're reassuring that they're going to give you good value for what you're getting. You can watch anywhere, you can cancel anytime, join free for a month. Whatever it is you're doing. So if you're, for example, like real estate is one of the niche markets that we work in pretty consistently. If you're offering a free home evaluation, you want to tell people why it's different from everybody else that is out there. Everybody. In the saturated market of real estate world. With marketing companies, you want to make sure that you're offering them something that sets you apart from everybody else. And then you want to then follow that up with email marketing to them about why working with you is awesome and why they shouldn't be making really bad landing pages that are ugly. If you are, if you're a restaurant, if you're some sort of service like that, you've got a landing page with a call to action. You want to make sure that, like, let's say you're giving a coupon, you're giving half off, or you're doing a Valentine's Day special dinner, or, you want to make sure that you've developed a value proposition that makes them feel comfortable so that they want to come and try out what you're offering. Let's see what else, if there's any really good ones on here that I want to. Oh, that's pretty. I like that one. I probably won't. Grey Goose. That's a nice one. Fly Beyond. Discover a cocktail tailored to your taste. I like it.
Someone needs a drink.
Well, this is really pretty. If you guys go, when you look at the show notes. Number 12 on this link that you're going to see is really pretty.
Let me see.
Number 14.
Hold on.
Okay,
I'm
Cupid. Oh. Join the best free dating site on earth. I'm feeling a little hashtag nostalgic. Anyway, so there's a lot of different cool calls to action. What I recommend is take a look at some of these examples, and then if you have questions about forming your call to action, your value proposition, and your landing page, you can always get in touch with us. If you send an email to hello@starksocial.com, or you tweet at us, or you Facebook message us, I'm happy to answer your questions. If you say, hey, I listened to the podcast, and then I might ask you, like, what's the code word?
They can contact through the app, too.
or the app. Jiminy Christmas. So there's a lot of really cool calls to action on here that you can take a look and get sample ideas from. Spotify has a good one. They offer their premium service for free for 30 days, and then they suck you in. Pinterest has some good ones too. So when you're building your call to action, there's a lot of different things. It's not just click here now. It's not just give us your information. You want to develop a personal connection with your potential client. You want to make them feel comfortable. You want to give them something for the value or the currency that they're giving you back.
Well, a call to action works on multiple levels, because I was just making a marketing video, and the person recording didn't give a call to action at the end. Call this number or go to, so we had to go back and fix that. So we're giving you calls to action all the time in our podcast, telling you, hey, go to subscribe or go get the app. I mean, you have to tell people what to do. Is basically, it doesn't matter what your business is, you have to cater that to, you got to ask yourself, what are going to be my calls to action for my marketing?
Right, exactly. And the thing is don't deviate from the goals that you have for building relationships with your social, because the thing is when you're building a call to action, or you're building a value proposition, or you're building any type of marketing specials, promotions, or offers, you want to make sure that it's in line with that relationship building aspect of your social media, where you're engaging with your clients, you're engaging with things that are going to be exciting to them, and you're offering them something that makes them feel like they can know, like, and trust you as a brand or a business. And then that ends up being the extension of your word of mouth marketing that social media is so amazing for. Boom. What I like is when I see people share like our ads and stuff, and then I'm like, my call to action totally worked. They're sharing it like it's a regular Facebook post. Anyway, so we were talking about calls to action today. Calls to action are basically just, it's super important when you're doing your advertising. You don't just want to put a picture out there and go like, visit my website. You want to make sure that people, when you're putting together a call to action, that you have really good content, that you're making sure that it's well defined, and that you're offering them a solid value proposition.
I got a horror story actually recently.
We only have a couple minutes, so make it quick, Smarty.
All right, so I'm dealing with a plugin that we're for a site, and I'm having problems. I'm trying to get to support. I go to this website. It's obviously in India, and it says, support closed.
There's nothing wrong with India.
I'm not
There's
against
very
India.
nice people there. Carry on.
Not against India.
Disclaimer.
I'm just saying they're from India, so they said like, we're closed.
Leave a message.
Yeah, leave a message.
After the beep.
No, you couldn't even leave a message. It was like closed, and so I'm like, when are you guys open? I don't even know. They're like +5-3 on the GMT or whatever. So I'm like, what does that mean? They're like 4 a.m.
That's like science math. I don't know what that means.
But I was going back and forth trying to figure out how to leave, any kind of a support ticket, basically.
Right.
So.
Yeah.
Anyways.
So, and that's, that all goes into, if you
ask.
have somebody who signs up through your call to action for the value proposition, you want to make sure that you can support that offer and not just leave them hanging. So calls to action, guys. Don't be afraid to put together advertising.
Be bossy.
Be bossy. Ask for things. Be smart about it. We will be next time talking about, I have no idea. I'm not even sure. I have no idea. I have not thought that far in advance. Maybe Instagram. I'm not sure. There's a lot of cool new things with Instagram. So I'm actually doing a training coming up very soon. So we'll talk about some of the Instagram stuff that I'm putting in that training. Don't forget to subscribe to the Social Life Podcast. Download the Social Life Podcast app. Search Stark Social Media Agency in the App Store to find it. If you can't find it, yell at Nate on Twitter.
They can access your webinars through the.
If you can't find the app, though, yell at Nate on Twitter. At Stark Social is our handle. Also on Instagram, don't forget to follow us. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, you've got a topic that you want us to cover, please email us, hello@starksocial.com, and we will add them because we need ideas. I promise. We don't just drink. And we talk about other things.
Get this lady a drink.
I need a beverage. It's past 1, damn it. Anyway, we're the Social Life Podcast. My name is Deanna Miller. That's Nathan Imhoff. We'll be back next time with more social media and stuff.
Later, skaters.
Okay, lady. I love you. Bye-bye.